CP the Tool Addict here. Got a quick video for you. We're going to talk about gimmicky freaking tools. Over the years, I think every mechanic has been duped by gimmicky tools. And, some of them aren't so gimmicky and some of them are. And I have a few here. I'm just not going to go over a bunch of them. There's a ton I could probably talk about over the years of tools where you get, for instance, the whole, I don't want to bring it up, but the whole ratcheting wrench, flare nut wrench deal. I'm not going to say that it's not a gimmicky idea. It's a good idea. But, where does it, if it doesn't work 100% perfectly, most mechanics don't want it. It'll get shut down. I have some popular mechanic wrenches at home that I think Matco still sells them. Maybe Cornwall does too, where they're called speed wrenches. Care the hater. We're getting ready to go through a negative 40-degree blizzard or whatnot. So, anyways. So, let me shed a little light on the situation here. Nonetheless, getting sidetracked. Nonetheless, gimmicky tools have been something that 0-degree ratchets or gearless ratchets. I don't think that there's something. Just hearing that positive engagement is definitely something that most mechanics probably aren't going to give up. So what I'm going to talk about mainly is, that was one of them, I guess, is the 0-degree or the gearless ratchets. I still use this one because this was the only one that I found to be useful. And I have seen some of these on other people's channels randomly watching their stuff. I actually dig this little gearless ratchet from Mac that I had, and you definitely can't get this anymore. I have a bunch of tools that are non-existent probably. It's just nice in a certain situation. Of course, I just bought that new Titan stubby. Really micro ratchet. Micro ratchets have pretty much taken this out of the game, to be honest with you, really, because the head on this is fat. It's as fat as any 1/4 inch. We'll talk about another gimmicky tool, but this one's actually, I find, useful. I only have the 1/4 inch here, but this is a Stanley. It's called a twist drive or whatnot like this. You can start a bolt like this, and I've actually had to use this thing. Great Neck, and I've showed that in my toolbox video. Great Neck made one. It's something that over the years, believe it or not, this is a tool you don't necessarily need, but it has worked. And what really I like about this ratchet is it's got the built-in thumb drive on it. You see these guys, I've seen a few guys buying the thumb wheel attachments 1/4 to 1/4. Well, if they would do this on a lot of ratchets, this would really be kick-ass. And the gear mechanism switches. It's a quick release. You can see that. This Stanley ratchet, I have this in a 1/4 and a 3/8. These are ones that I really do enjoy, and I have used quite a bit. It's weird how the handle moves. I don't quite understand how the system works. Don't really care. It works. And I don't really use it for high torque situations. What I use it for is starting a bolt somewhere where I can't quite get my sausage-like fingers into. And you just kind of work it back and forth. You guys can see it. It's been a great tool. I absolutely enjoy it. Now, the other big thing we're going to talk about is pass-through. Pass-through sockets. I was watching Mr. Subaru's, Mr. Subaru did a video on this gear wrench pass-through, and he's got the flex heads, and I've had this set for years. And I can honestly tell you, in all the time that I've had this, I've only had to use it a couple times. They are cheaply made. You see that? That's what happens. They rust. That's what really irritates me. I could probably warranty it out, but this is my original set, and I'm very set on it, on that. The gear drive itself, very nice fine tooth, nice lever to switch, ratchet's tolerable, nice path, and then also comes with an extension that you can, if you need to. And I'll be honest with you, I use this more when I was on the farm a lot of times, for putting in corner post gate hooks and stuff like that. Not gonna lie to you, this thing was phenomenal for that, because you could really get those long bolts in there. You didn't have to use a ratcheting wrench. I prefer using a ratchet over a ratcheting wrench, believe that or not. I try to use a ratchet whenever I can, because it's just, ratcheting wrenches are great, but you know, if the time comes to it. So these actually, I use this thing. I remember putting in a few gates with this thing. I've had this set for quite some time. It is nice because it also allows you, what I really did appreciate about Gear Wrench's design on this was that allowed you to push it to the back there, and so you could start a bolt and it wouldn't really push out. Now, it was a little bit cumbersome. If you started getting on it, it would pop it out. Or not. Yeah, there you go. It would pop it out if you started pushing on it really hard. It would pop that out of there. Great tool when you need it. Definitely got their place. I have kept this around because I refuse to buy the Snap-on low profile set since I've always had this. I just don't see the need for anything low profile when this is absolutely a very low profile. That's a 19 millimeter, and this could do what I need it to do. It's low torque application. These things are like paper thin. I've never busted one, but I'm sure they would. I never put any kind of torque on them. I'm not the typical guy. I have so many different tools that I don't treat my tools like I don't intentionally abuse them like some guys do. That's fine if you do. I'm just not that type of person. Never have been. I have so many tools that I know that I got the right tool for the job. So why kill one when you got the other? So, and I do appreciate the guys do destruct them. Don't get me wrong, because it is a treat to enjoy to watch somebody when they want to get shit done and they just go after it. Because I appreciate that. So, it also comes with the 1/4 inch one. I had the 1/4 inch one. Never really used the 1/4 inch one with an extension that much. Goes up to 1/2 inch. I'll kind of give you a quick look at this set, but it's a nice set to have if you need it. It was cheap. I bought it. Only reason I bought it was because it came with the Gear Wrench ratcheting screwdriver, which essentially looked like the Matco one, which I use that all the time. So let me give you a little peek of the set. Let you kind of take a look of it. It goes from 10 to 19 in 3/8, 3/8 to 3/4 in 3/8, and then in 1/4 inch it goes from 5/32 to 1/2 inch, and then the metric side goes from 3.5, which I haven't used any of these. 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5 obviously, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 13 mil. I don't know why I never got, well, back in the day, let's talk about that real quick too. Back in the day, this was pretty common. And you see my ratchet video where I did the 3/8 ratchets and stuff like this. That's where those ratchets came into play. Was they didn't used to have 14 and 15 millimeter sockets in 1/4 inch back in the day. They only went up to 13. This was pretty standard how sets came most of the time. Your 13 millimeter was your biggest 1/4 inch. That's all changed nowadays, and I think that's the reason why. I don't know why people really want to put 3/8 heads and 1/4 inch ratchets anymore, because that's what we used them for, back 20 years ago, and I'm sure those guys will agree with me. So, the other set that I bought was this is what I keep in my pickup. I keep a handful of tools in my pickup, and I bought this Cobalt pass-through set because I thought, you know what, this is a spline drive, and you guys know how I feel about spline drives. They're absolute garbage in most cases, but this is a multi-drive. So I thought to myself, if I'm in a pinch, and now I don't have an extension with this, and what I bought this for, I thought that normally when I originally bought this, that this was a pretty good set. It is definitely low profile. I love the ratchet. The ratchet is great. The biggest problem is they use this ring in here, and then they've got a detent ball up in there. You see that? Well, the detent doesn't really go in there like it's supposed to. So these sockets are fairly loose. So sometimes it is frustrating using this. Thank God the heater shut off. Let's just show you the difference though in low profile. The 3/4 is what I got here. We'll use a 3/4 on the gear wrench. We'll show you the difference between the low profile of the Cobalt versus the gear wrench. But you guys can obviously see the difference there. I'll set it up like that. The Cobalt is quite a bit shallower. If you can't see that, it is a super shallow. That's why I bought this set, because I noticed that it was super shallow. So it's just a hair shallower than the gear wrench. Let me do it like that. You can see the difference there, maybe. But this is just my truck. This is what I keep for tools in my truck. It's just a handy little unit. It's got a adapter, which once again, Cobalt dropped the ball on this because the only thing they did right on theirs is that you can't push the sockets through. Well, yes, you can you can't push them through on the gear wrench, but on the adapters, you can't push the adapters through. It's got a 1/4" adapter, which I keep an extension on here, and I use this as a screwdriver extension or whatnot. And it's got a couple little bits in here that I, just keep those for there. And that's just kind of, it's kind of nice to have when you are in a pinch. That's the only reason why I have this set, and that's the only reason why I have the gear wrench set. I have so many freaking tools, my name, The Tool Addict, that's the reason why. I have a lot of weird stuff, different stuff. I'm all about that odd tool life. I just like that oddball stuff. The Cobalt set, I just wish was a little bit, the ratchet's built really good. I just wish they would have had a better design than this. But I tell you what, if they changed it and somebody knows, tell me down that comment box. These are all made in Taiwan. But once again, just showing you guys some different stuff and oddball tools, gimmicky stuff that came out back in the day, and that's been out, and Gimmicky Tools. Do you need them? Not necessarily. Can they be handy? Yes, they absolutely can be handy in certain situations. Will they become obsolete? Most likely. Most likely they become obsolete, and the pass-through has not become obsolete yet, but they have had better designs now. The gear wrench has held up very well for what it is. It's a good set. I have my pros and cons about which one I like more, but this set's nice and compact. There's nothing to it, and like I said, it's it's spline drive. So I get the same set, compact like that, fits right in my truck. 10 to 13, 10 to, what the heck is that? Oh, what the hell they got going on here? That should be a 10 to, oh, I got it in the wrong hole maybe. Ha! Yeah, I do. Sure do. Got these backwards. Must have dumped them out somewhere along the line. They're actually a 10 to 4.5 to 10 millimeter, and then a 10 millimeter to 19 millimeter, and a 3/4 to 3/8, and a 3/8 to 3/16. So, and I got a 3/8 to 1/4" adapter, which I don't know what that is, and I've got this is supposed to be a socket adapter, and I'm not exactly sure. Oh, that's to turn these into a regular ratchet, I forgot. So yeah, I put this in like that, and now I've got a little deep well socket if I need it. And then I can put my adapter on here and stacking them up. Now I've got somewhat of a semi-deep socket. The broaching's a little bit shallow, but like I said, the whole point is that this will get you out of a pinch. Having a set like this will get you out of a pinch. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.